Hello, and welcome to the Ethan Young Podcast. I'm Ethan Young, and I'm excited that you joined me. I'm excited that you're alive. I'm excited that you're here. I'd ask you to subscribe before you leave, and I'd ask you to not notice the fucking gigantic mountain that is about to grow out of my face here. It's amazing that I don't have the highest quality 4K camera, and still the fucking super Aggro Crag that you can see coming out of my head, and that's a throwback for anybody that hasn't watched Global Guts in about 20 years. Which Global Guts was a show on Nickelodeon that I imagine surfaced somewhere around. Should we look it up? Let's fucking give it a, as Mark Norman would say, let's give it a goog. What was it? Global Guts. Global motherfucking Guts. Guts. 1992 game show, 3 seasons. So it really only had 3 seasons for 1992. All of them were in 1992. That's amazing. They were literally in just a series of fucking 2 months. That's amazing. Wow. Oh no, this is not the entire. Wow. Excuse me. Very, very impressive year, 1992. It really doesn't give any more information, but I did just Google it, and I did just. The point is, at the very end of it, they would all fucking climb this mountain, which, like, the first season it was like the fucking Aggro Crag. It was just like that was enough. They called it the Aggro Crag, and then after that they called it like the super Aggro Crag, and then after that they called it the fucking super mega Aggro Crag or something like that. And I should probably look it up, because now I feel like I'm giving you're like, dude, we don't care, nobody cares about Global Guts. That's the thing that's growing out my forehead, though. If you were confused about why I brought this up, if you're confused about what this mountain from 1992 has to do with your life, it's because I ask you not to notice it as it fucking bulges out my head. And right now it's just in the beginning stages. Like right now it's just like that before it comes in, when you can just like feel it. You're like, yep, this is gonna be an awful, terrible, amazing, which I don't know if I told you guys about it, but I had a fucking super soaker growing out of my neck the other day. It ended up just being a fucking ingrown hair, and if I didn't tell you about it, it's probably better off, but it was a fucking shooter, dude. Just like if you had a water gun full of yellow goo that just blasted all over the mirror. That's what came out of my neck, and so that's what this thing in my fucking head feels like. But Global Guts, fucking Aggro Crag. Da-da-da-da. What is the Aggro Crag? What is the Aggro Crag? The Crag, the 5th and final event of each episode, with 3 contestants in a race to climb a fabricated mountain called the Aggro Crag. And this was seasons 1 and 2. The Mega Crag in season 3, and the Super Aggro Crag, Global Guts. I am definitely gonna always have that in my mind. What is it about those shows that you watched when you were like 4 or 5 years old that just stand out forever? It seems like it's funny, my son was obsessed with cars, and I don't mean just like cars in general. I mean the Disney Pixar three movie series Cars, with like Lightning McQueen, that was played by Owen Wilson. It's funny, he was actually just showing me in Need for Speed, so this video game that he has on his PS4, they actually have a wrap for the car that looks like Lightning McQueen, which was the main character in the movie Cars. And so that was really cool, because it was like almost like, holy shit, I forgot how many fucking years we just had that same movie playing over and over and over. And in the beginning, in the very, very, very beginning, he didn't even like the whole movie. He just liked the part where Lightning McQueen raced the train. So in the very beginning of the movie, he like races to pass this fucking train tracks before the train goes across. And that was the shit, dude. He wanted to watch that over and over. And after a period of time, I was like, I'm not rewinding again. I can't do it, dude. After, 6,000 times, like there's some country song where he's like, rewind Barney for the 18th time or whatever, dude. It's not even. They would keep going. They would just, however many times you'd rewind it, the fucking attention span is endless at that point. Whereas now, like, if I ask him not to play his video games or his tablet or his phone or whatever it is for like 2 seconds, he's got a problem with that. So it's like, it's interesting how these attention spans, grow and fucking shrink over the years. But his creativity is still something that I think I've mentioned before, but it must be fucking fed. Whatever that is, I would love to have that. I want to, like, if you could fucking just cut a fucking saw a little piece off, and take in the nutrients of that creativity that a child has. I would love a little bit more of that. Sometimes I cheat, sometimes I bring a little something on board to try to help, which hey, everybody's guilty of something. It's funny, I forgot to start the clock, so I don't know where I'm at, but that's okay. It's okay. We're going on a ride here. We're basically nowhere. We're nowhere. I talked about the fact that there's a monster growing out of my face. Remember that fucking Halloween song? It wasn't really a Halloween song, and it wasn't really good enough to be a song at any point. It shouldn't have probably been played ever. But there was that song that's like, what, Monster Mash? And I hate to say that because there's somebody that's like, oh, it's a great song, but like, no, it sucks, dude. It's a terrible song. It's just one of those songs that you play. It's like in a mix that's like for a Halloween party for children or something like that. Maybe I had a lot of those because my birthday's near Halloween. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's something that I thought about, and god damn it, I can't think of why, but that's okay. It's not a crime as far as I'm aware. God damn it, the first thing that makes me think of is fucking the war crimes, right? Or for all I know, it's Ukrainian propaganda, but it looks pretty fucking real. And so those war crimes that have been claimed by the Russians, so the Russians, claimed to have been done by the Russians, look pretty fucking real to me. But you know how things are. It's like, hey, I think they went to the moon, but they're along on this particular platform is probably some pretty convincing arguments by multiple different people that may or may not sway your opinion either way. So my point in saying that is, like, they can easily do things on camera that aren't always real, but I'd like to think that they said it was the worst war crimes they've seen since World War II. So what was it, the city of Bucha? I mean, I have literally no idea how to, that's, imagine me, you know what I mean? It was like Bucha. I would call that Bucha. Maybe it's Bucha? I wouldn't say Bucha. If I had to guess, if somebody was like, hey, you get one chance, I'd say Bucha. Sounds like Bucha to me. Imagine being the Russian, whoever it is that we talked to. I was going to say Russian gentleman. My first thought was Russian gentleman. And then, then the secondary thought is like Russian gentleman, lady, or non-binary individual. They probably don't allow that shit in Russia. Probably lady or gentleman. It's probably one or the other. But they get more, and don't need to elaborate. That was enough to say on it, I think. And no, I don't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, I guess my first thought was, imagine who that person is. I think they may have mentioned their name. I could look it up. I'm not sure if it's worth our time. But the idea was, they have to take the fucking stand or the questioning or whatever it is when they're questioned about these war crimes. So again, it seemed like in that city of Bucha, however you want to pronounce it, they had claimed that the Russians committed war crimes that were worse than they've seen since World War II. So literal mass graves, genocide, on a high level. And this gentleman, he just has to fucking straight face say that it's propaganda. He has to straight face tell you, like, nope, that's the Ukrainians are making that shit up. This is, I can't vouch for it. I think that's something that's just propaganda from the Ukrainians. And imagine, dude, like, there's a woman that dates that guy. There's a lady that knows that he lies on a world stage about mass graves, genocide, and literally there are people with their hands bound behind their fucking body, shot in the head execution style. And he has to say that it's propaganda. And hey, for all I know, for all we know, for all anybody knows, unless you're there, and even if you're there, you're only seeing what you're seeing. We don't know what everything's going. But I don't know. It's just like, I mean, after a while, you know, people get granular about the budgets and the spending and all that, about all these different things. And it's like, doesn't fucking Zelenskyy start to seem like a kind of like a baby mama that we maybe never wanted? I mean, a baby mama that we didn't know we had. And now here he is. He's just like constantly video fucking conferences. Like, he's either on a fucking teleconference daily or maybe even weekly. He's chiming in on award shows, which, you know, they need all the help they can get. So I get it. But, the guy, you know, it's like, didn't we just send you a bunch of anti-air weapons and fucking a bunch of defense? Like, can't that hold you over for a month? Nope. We send, like, what was it, like fucking $100 million? We sent another $100 million fucking dollars, which I know when you're like, I don't know, I remember a long time ago, John McCain, he was talking about how, like, those numbers are, you know, I don't remember what the fuck he said, but the idea was that, like, when you're talking about the global or even like the United States economy, those type of numbers are not that big of a fucking deal. But they just sent like $100 million. What was it, like the Javelin? I remember it was $100 million in Javelin anti-air defense or something like that. I'm looking it up right now. $100 million anti-air. Why am I typing anti-air? I wasn't even sure about that. That would be stupid. I would have fucked the search up. All I needed to type was $100 million Javelin. Why did I fuck it up? Should I try anyway? $100 million with a Javelin. Bam, let's see what we come up with. The U.S. is sending $100 million in Javelin anti-tank weapons to Ukraine. And this is 4 days ago. Excuse me. But I guess it is a little bit older of news. But my point in saying that is, it's like, this guy just keeps asking for money. He just, I mean, like, doesn't it after a while seem like maybe, and I know I said in the beginning because I had gotten the idea from somebody else, but sure seems like maybe there's more going on than we realize. And I know, like, if you ask, I don't know, a lot of people, the idea of, I mean, I don't, you know, you basically have to put your tempo, you have to put your, I don't know why I was going to stumble my way through that, but you have to put your tinfoil hat on and think about the idea that maybe there is, what is it, the military-industrial complex, and maybe the fact that wars that are going on allow defense companies to spend and make a lot of money. Maybe that's beneficial to some people here and there, whether they be considered the deep state or maybe they're just some individuals that are lawmakers that happen to stay in there, and whether or not somebody is the president that we like or don't like, it seems like the same type of shit's going on with just a different label on it. But here it is. And holy cow, not sure if I should trust the fucking website. It's called Stars and Stripes, which I don't know why that doesn't seem like the first website that I would go to. You know, it's like, you can't always trust like MSNBC and CNN and Fox News and all these folks that are giving us what we hear on a consistent basis from the corporate press. But Never heard of Stars and Stripes, but here's the headline. It says the U.S. is sending $100 million in Javelin anti-tank weapons to Ukraine. Isn't that funny? It took me like 6.5 fucking minutes to find this or get to the point, and I don't even remember what my point was. Oh, yeah, I totally do. And I said it already, and I restated it, so we're good. But Zelenskyy constantly asking for money, right? Like, I believe the total amount that he's asked at this point is $2.4 billion with a B. So since Biden took office, they've given Ukraine $2.4 billion, which I don't know, man. That seems like a lot of money. Sure does. The White House on Tuesday authorized another $100 million in aid to Ukraine in Javelin anti-armor weapons in its battle to repel the Russian invasion that began in late February. The shoulder-fired Javelin automatically provides... Yeah, it just says kind of what it does, but you get the idea. We get the idea. My point in saying that is that's a lot of money. Wow. But again, you ask, say somebody like John McCain, and they would say, no, is he still alive? He died, right? I think he died. I'm sorry. I think he died. I apologize. He totally died, right? Yeah. I just remember, like, that was a long time ago, obviously. Wasn't it? Didn't he run against Obama? Yeah, I think he did. Oh, my gosh. So, like, speaking of that, like, fucking, this is, since Biden took office, they've spent $2.4 billion on Ukraine. And then mentioning Obama. So, like, isn't it so interesting and just literally expressing the fucking magnitude of the confusion that we're dealing with the news? So you look at these, like, I'm almost certain that I read, what was it, like CNN? I bet I can find it. CNN, the headline at least, was like, just like old times when Biden and Obama are together in the Oval Office. Then you read something like, I don't know. I listen to JRE, obviously. So then, like, Rogan says something like, he shows this 13-second clip, which is like Biden putting his hand on Obama, and Obama's basically completely ignoring him. And he's talking about how pretty much any time anybody ever did that, he would just respond like, oh, somebody's touching me, like, I'm going to respond to them. But he's obviously clearly ignoring him. I had only seen that, and I can't say that I watched the whole C-SPAN shits. You know what I mean? I never would have the time, obviously. And I think people count on that. A lot of people don't have the time. But then I also saw on Breaking Points, they made a very similar, so Crystal and Sagar made a very similar point in the sense that Biden looked like he was getting the cold shoulder pretty obviously, and it was very uncomfortable as everybody was greeting in the video that Crystal and Sagar showed Obama, and everybody wanted to talk to Obama, and literally nobody wanted to talk to Kamala, and nobody wanted to talk to Joe Biden. And my point in saying that is, what I was going to look up is, like, I think CNN's headline was like, oh, just like old times. Like, so it's just so interesting how, like, both of, those takes, or three of those takes, say from three different people, one being a podcast, another being Breaking Points is, I guess you would really consider it the news. It's just on YouTube, but it's fucking the news. I guess that's where I get it. I know they're on Spotify and Substack and all these things, but my point in saying that is, what in the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, we're constantly just at this point where we have to, like, deduce it ourselves. Like, okay, this is what Fox News is giving me. Okay, this is what CNN is giving me. Okay, this is what MSNBC is giving me. Okay, this is what Breaking Points is giving me. Thank God we have somebody out there that can give us some sort of opinion like that. But what was it? I mean, basically, you could probably just find CNN plus Biden and Obama. I'm sorry, I'm telegraphing it. I know that's stupid. You're like, we can hear the clickety-clackety of your fucking keyboard, buddy. And it says, here we go, CNN, the incredible irony. Nope, that's not what it was. But that looks like it's a long time ago as well. Good thing I looked it up, huh? Good thing I looked it up prior to. Oh, here it is. Bam! Yes, dude. Also 4 days ago. Apparently, I was really reading the news like 4 days ago, because whatever the fuck else I just mentioned was a story from 4 days ago. And this is a story from 4 days ago. So I'm just fucking 5 days behind everybody else, yo. But if you're listening to this, you're a few behind as well. I was going to say a few further than 5, but that was a little too hard. it was a little too hard to get out. The fucking poison of my super aggro crag blowing out of my skull face here is poisoning my mind and everything amongst me. The CNN politics headline is, like the good old days, Obama returns to the White House for the first time as Democrats look ahead to midterm elections. And it was, as it was covered by like Breaking Points and pretty much everybody else, he was just there to tout how great the Affordable Care Act was, which, as Breaking Points mentioned, was a long fucking time ago. And it's really interesting that they'd be trying to, I don't know, just bring that up. It's like, it's more just awkward shit really from them. Also, speaking of awkward shit from the guy that has a fucking mountain grown out of his head, I'm not sure that whole Obama thing, when like he was originally introducing Biden and he mentioned him and called him the vice president, I don't think it was a mistake. I mean, I know I said the same thing about the Will Smith Chris Rock thing, that my initial opinion was that it was not real, and then after that I was like, it's fucking real, and Will's kind of going through some shit, but and tried to just look at it. I always forget it's subjectively. I was like, is it objectively, subjectively, subjectively? I tried to look at it subjectively, but I don't think it was real. I mean, I don't think it's an Obama gaffe in the way that like Biden has gaffes, but that was one thing. I did actually read this article from CNN. They even acknowledged they were like very, very low on the list of gaffes for either one of them. So that was kind of cool. It was like, oh, you know, it's like, though I do feel like they're often trying to set a tone that may or may not be established in reality, it was interesting to see them mention anything that wasn't 100% say positive light on both Obama and Biden, because it's like clear they have at least some sort of agenda. So it was interesting to see that. It was like, oh, interesting, like that they'd acknowledge that. I guess when it's in the fucking open, you know, you just look like a fool. You just like a fucking idiot if you don't, you know. But I will be right back. I'm back. For you, hopefully it was instant. For me, I had deli meat and cheese inside of a tortilla. How bad are tortillas? Flour tortillas. Just as bad as everything else that's flour, you'd like to think. Just as bad as anything else that you can't fucking eat without getting yourself inflammation. Speaking of the inflammation flying out the fucking eyebrow of my head. One thing, and I was going to say, then I'll be done talking about the war in Ukraine, but when are we done talking about that? When it quits happening? And then what? Probably plenty of wars going on in other places, right? Like, again, Yemen. But I'm only smiling because I mentioned it times ago, and it doesn't get any attention by anybody except Dave Smith. Which we've all learned if you watch JRE or pay attention to him. What in the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I was thinking about flour tortillas and how bad are they. Also, all these things that we've done, all these things that have happened, all the things that have occurred, and I shouldn't say all of them, but it seems like a lot of the sanctions that were meant to cripple Russia's economy have also crippled, I don't know, a lot of the other parts of the world, in the way that Russia has responded, in the way that, say, I don't know, things were already not fantastic. Then oil prices went up, gas prices rose, inflation was already in double digits, and I mean, I wasn't even thinking about talking about this. I had no reason to, but another thing that, say, like Crystal Ball has been mentioning on Breaking Points a lot is that there's some indicator. So there's some particular indicator that has come up before there's going to be a recession every time. And showing that right now we're set to experience a recession. I think some people have even estimated by next year. Did I make that up? I'm trying to look it up right now to tell you the truth. Rural recession indicator 2019. The yield gap on a 2-year, one of the best-known recession indicators, is a flashing warning signs of the economy. Yield on a long-term U.S. government bonds are in danger of slipping below yields of short-term bonds, a relatively rare occurrence known as the inversion. I'm not sure if that's what I had heard from them, and I do apologize if you just went to their channel and watched them. They give a fantastic, detailed, wonderful description of it, and I don't even remember why I brought it up. Oh, just point saying that is like these fucking sanctions that have affected Russia seem like they've affected the rest of the world, and like us as a part of the rest of the world in particular don't seem to be doing like fucking great to begin with, you know? Like it's like we have and like I mentioned in some of my other podcasts, which I guess it's one of those things that once you already have it on your mind, then you start to realize and start to hear it all over the place. But I was right. Like my thoughts about like how I was going in gas stations, restaurants, fast food places, all these different places, and it seems like there's a fucking labor shortage. There is. It's 100% happening, and so it's pretty interesting that like I just noticed that literally from just 100 different. I could only exemplify in anecdotal stories that I provided 4 different industries that were clearly, I guess they're kind of all amongst the same family of industries in the sense of like hospitality, but food and beverage. And anyway, only really 4 establishments that were clearly showing a labor shortage. But it appears the more and more I listen to things and listen to stories, watch stories, pay attention to the news, we're clearly going through a labor shortage. And that one particular, I didn't realize that Russia produced so much wheat. What, they're like one of our highest, aren't they like one of the highest producers of like wheat in the world, like the 4th highest or something like that? Russia and wheat. I'm sorry I telegraph. I don't know why I do that. What the fuck is wrong with me? When will I learn? When will I learn to shut my mouth? I guess I'd shut the mic off too, though, right? Who knows? A mystery of the market, a wheat whale that came out of nowhere by the New York Times. I'm not sure if that's it. I'm not sure if you know what I mean? I should do some research. I should fucking bring up these articles before I mention them. My thought was just in hopes to fucking, in hopes to back what I was saying. But I'm not going to read this whole fucking article. You know what I mean? Guess that's why you have a Jamie, huh? That's why Joe on the JRE has a Jamie. But my point in saying that is I believe that a lot of these sanctions have been possibly negative amongst a lot of the countries as well as the U.S., even though we were already in bad shape. And so this wheat one, I was trying to have a glass half full perspective in the sense that maybe it will limit the amount of wheat and things that we're consuming, since obviously it's an inflammation causing food, and it seems like the more things that it's in, it's just going to cause you trouble. And I believe that's like contrary to what was it like when I was growing up, like 90s advice, where it was like whole grains, man, you know, like whole grains and fucking whole grain wheat was good for you. And like then you realize like, oh no, man, bread's not the best. Bread is not gonna help you in any way. And the only reason I was bringing this up is because I had a flour tortilla during the break, and I'm like, that's probably, you know, it's like I guess you try to avoid bread as much as you can, but sometimes it's nice to have a little vehicle to put together some deli meats and cheese, you know. And I should have just fucking slammed it together. I should have taken the cheese and folded up the deli meats, and then you wouldn't need any vehicle and you'd be just fine, or just not be a fucking animal and make some sort of food. I actually had a pork chop before I started, so like I had food, but I don't know. Maybe I'm nervous about this stupid thing growing out of my head, which is like literally I opened my very first episode ever, which people act like this is a goddamn consecutive series that you have to like start in the beginning and like work your way through, or I don't know how it works, but it is what it is. I mentioned it then is my point. So now here, what is it, like 22 fucking however many episodes later, I guess not surprising that I still have gigantic shit growing out of my head. The unfortunate part is, like, people talk about it like it's like, they're like, basically, if you see zits growing out of somebody's head, it's like, one, they have hormone issues. So it's like, I think it's funny because you're just basically broadcasting to any and everybody that you talk to, like, hey, my hormones are out of whack, and I have fucking the super aggro crag from Global Guts growing out of my head. I don't know, man. But, not going to read this New York Times article here now. But maybe that, as a glass half full perspective, will positively affect us in the sense that maybe we could all use a little bit less wheat in our diet. But can't read this New York Times article. And if I was like fucking Dr. Rhonda Patrick, I'd be all backed up with a shitload of facts, and they'd be blasting in your face right now. There'd be like all kinds of fucking statistics and data that was just like letting you know how terrible the thing I was talking about was and how much information I have about it. But I'm clearly not as prepared. I rolled this joint. I rolled up this J before I came along. It barely even stayed lit. I did prepare in one way or another. It's just not in that way. Just not in the way you would expect. It's calling it the wheat whale that came out of nowhere. I bet it's not even the same article. Ah, shit, and I closed down Google altogether. You're like, you don't say. You smoked marijuana and things didn't go perfect for you? What in the world? That's a first for everybody. Just kidding. Just being stupid. I just heard my kid. It's a constant thing. It is what it is. I do these on the weekends. I do it on the weekends. When would you do it? You know what I mean? If you go to work and you're just like trying to pay the bills and trying to live your life and trying to take care of your kid, like you do it when you have time. And a lot of people have time on the weekends, and I have time on the weekends, and I also always have my kid on the weekends. But yeah, hopefully everything that we're hearing is not Ukrainian propaganda. Hopefully all these fucking pictures that we're seeing, they looked scary to me, dude. Hopefully they're not some sort of propaganda, but I know we don't have all the details. I just don't know what else we're missing. It's a fucking totally has nothing to do with Ukraine or Russia or Biden or Obama or any of these. There's just this one situation, and I've only done it twice now, but I have this just like weird feeling. And again, I always would tell people like I've never worked in a restaurant. I've only worked at hotels that served food, which again, I don't think is the same, because in a lot of select service hotels, you're not going to get anything that's prepared. It's all fucking like warmed up, frozen bullshit. You know what I mean? Which most people should know. And if you don't know that, now you know. But don't remember what I was talking about. How is that possible? Oh yeah, I have some small amount of idea of what I believe the environment that my food that's being served to me in a public place the environment that the food should be in, I guess, so to speak. There's this one place, and so I've mentioned it before, but I do DoorDash on the side here occasionally, and I've done this one restaurant twice, and they keep you in the alley. And in the alley, they also, of course, keep all of their old equipment. And I shouldn't say of course, but this particular place keeps all their old equipment. They keep all of their garbage, some of which is in a dumpster, some of which is not in a dumpster. And that's where everybody smokes cigarettes. So you stand for the customer's food in a fucking garbage-filled cigarette smoke cloud as you wait for their food. Now, the little, tiny, small amount of dealing with people's food that I have just tells me that I shouldn't be fucking taking anybody's food ever through an environment like that. And it's so weird how much it bothers me. The crazy thing is, I think the fucking guy that walked out the other day that had like a button up on and slacks and shit, I swear to God, I worked with him at CU Boulder. I've mentioned it before, but I did concessions at CU Boulder. So, like the people that set up the fucking kitchens and like service stations and food stations and stuff on campus for football games and basketball games and all that shit. Just because obviously you can't have all that set up. Obviously it takes a crew of people, which they even hire like fucking hundreds of, I think like, people that are, on work release and shit like that. Why the fuck did I mention that? Damn it. I wish my memory is awesome, dude. My memory is fucking, it's killer. It is perfect. It's everything I need. I'm just hoping it's going to come to me. Oh yeah, dude. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. Like, if you're the customer and you've ordered food from this restaurant, do you expect, as it's leaving from the restaurant and coming to you, that it's coming through a garbage-filled, cigarette smoke-filled environment? Like, that to me is just completely inappropriate. And maybe it's because I'm a little bitch, and that's probably it. As I say it, I'm like, God damn it, that's probably it. I probably don't like standing in the alley. I don't like being next to all the old equipment. I don't like being next to the fucking garbage. I don't like being next to all the cigarette smoke, and I just don't like being there. And my excuse is to say that I don't think fucking customers' food should go through there. But I think it all just goes back to that thing that GSP said at one time or another, that you're never going to like every aspect of your job. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he particularly liked fighting, of all the aspects of his particular job, which was fighting in combat sports at a high level. So it's like, you're not always going to like every aspect of your job. And again, it's fuck, dude. I had said before, and I was going to repeat it, but it's not true. I was going to say it's a good way to make a little extra money on the side, but with gas prices, they have not consistently increased their wages. And so with gas prices the way they are, it is not really the best shit, dude. I gotta say, it's a little disappointing. You're like, oh, I just made $7 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, I just drove my own car and spent my own gas and did oil changes and did maintenance on my vehicle and washed it. You know what I mean? Like, I did all of that, and it was $7 an hour. Like, it can be really fucking disappointing. But on the good times, it's like $25 an hour, which is not terrible. But yeah, there's also times where if you really do all the calculations, you're like, son of a bitch. But I know, it's when you do your taxes, right? You're supposed to be like, oh, well, I drove 6 million miles on my fucking car, but I don't know. What's up with that? Speaking of jobs and shit like that, what's up with that whole fucking Christian Smalls thing at Amazon? That's pretty cool, right? I mean, like, if you haven't seen it, it looks like Christian Smalls, a guy that was like fired from Amazon like years ago at a warehouse in New York, is able to unionize, and they may be the first place that's going to unionize as far as all the Amazon warehouses. And then if, say, maybe it works similar to Starbucks, or at least the way I heard it on Breaking Points. I don't know. I guess I listen to them a lot. Yeah, it's a good news source. Again, you just like I mentioned, it's so crazy how confusing it can all be when, like, you watch their opinion, and it's not always going to line up with what you read on or hear from any of the other people. And it kind of is crazy that we're all just left to deduce these opinions. We're all just left to say, okay, and I guess, obviously everybody ends up siding with one person or another, right? You have like some sort of source that maybe you trust more than others. Which again, I think is why it was interesting to see CNN for the first time say something which wasn't completely positive of the Democratic Party, which was like, I don't know, what is that? You know what I mean? Almost like they're realizing like we might have to be right every fucking once in a while. You know what I mean? We might have to get it correct here and there. Otherwise, people aren't going to trust us anymore. It's kind of funny, but I think that's it. Anyway, dudes. Yeah, it was funny. I was thinking, I noticed that, like you always hear, like, what is it? Even Jay-Z and stuff, he's like, what's up, fam? Like, I say fam. And then I realized it was like, I was like, oh, yeah, EYP, family. It all kind of like rhymed. It rhymed in my head, and I liked that, but can't find any good point to say it. I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, even thought about, like, open it. Like, I'd open the episode and be like, what up, like, I hate it. Do you hate it? You hate it. You can see me saying it and you're like cringing. You're moving your shoulders around. You're like, I'm not comfortable right now. I don't like it. I don't like the way you do that. And I felt the same way, so I don't do it. That's what I thought too. I was like, dude, haven't you motherfuckers had enough Viking shows? Like, what is this? What was that one? The fucking Northman, dude? The Northman or whatever the fuck it is? I could look it up, but we know how my fucking Google skills are. I've already claimed that I need another individual. I've already fucking said, oh, this is too hard. I need more people. It's not enough labor. Yeah, whatever the fuck. I already made so many excuses. God, I'm good at that. What's wrong with that? Why is that? You know what's another thing I noticed? If I wake up early, and this is just something I noticed about me, and you tell me what's up, and I know you're going to know what's up. We're all going to know what's up, but then I can't tell you. You have to see it on your own. If I wake up early and I'm on Instagram and I see Jocko Willink post the picture of his watch, I like it. Sometimes maybe even I put a comment on it, right? If I go back to bed, if it's a weekend and I slept in, I don't want to like that picture. What the fuck is that? What is that? What is that? It's, that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me saying, it's Saturday. He still got up at 4:30. He still took a picture of his watch. He still got his workout done already. And you have a sink full of dishes and you haven't even fucking made your bed yet. That's what it is. And you're like facing that reality that he's fucking again woken up, regardless that it was Friday night last night. And he's taking care of it. And it's just like, I think there's something to that. Like, what's that song? I think it's like, I want to say it's like Tyler Harrow or something like that. Which, by the way, that song is fucking badass. I don't know who those guys are or where they came from, but I like that fucking song. I like it a lot. But he's just like, the ones that hate me the most look just like me. You tell me what that means. And it's just, yeah. I think that the same reason I don't like those pictures when I've slept in and Jocko's up at 4:30. But I'll like it any day that I'm up. Any day that I'm up, I'm so proud to press that little red fucking heart, dude. So proud. So proud. So I just yep, dude, me too. I'm here. I'm with you. You know, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to fucking toot my little horn by pressing the button. But if I'm not up, man, it reminds me. It reminds me that I fucking slept in. It reminds me that I'm fucking, that I'm not doing what I could be, that I'm not living up to my potential. And that's not always a pretty reminder. That's not always the most exciting thing. What the fuck was I going to look up? Oh, yeah. Dude. With these motherfucking Viking shows. Wasn't Game of Thrones about Vikings? I know I've talked about it before, and each episode should stand by itself, and I've mentioned it before. But there was one evening that I got dragged to a Game of Thrones episode. I did not watch it, and I fell asleep. Other than that, I've never watched any episodes ever. So other than being in the room that evening and sleeping and petting that dog a bunch, and that is not a fucking metaphor for anything at all. There was a fucking golden retriever sitting right next to me that was more exciting than the dark fucking thing on the screen that I couldn't see from across the room with a bunch of people that I didn't know. And so I slept. Probably also didn't sleep that much. I need to make Breck sleep in his own goddamn room. I need to figure that out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just someday. I guess someday he won't want to. But I was like, someday I can't not get rest. Like there's gonna be a day when I'm older and I can't just fucking not sleep. Dude, I heard fucking Jim Miller talking about Lyme disease, and he was talking about his fucking your eye twitches, and you don't have to remember, but there was an episode, and it happens in my life, but there was an episode where I just dropped my lighter, by the way, from what the fuck that sound was, where I was like, my eye was just twitching out of control, and it does it. It just happens all the time. And I can't imagine, you know what I mean? Like, I don't go to the doctor, and I'm not gonna go to the doctor for that. And I'm total hypochondriac, so it's probably more likely what it is. But I heard him talking about how he had like Lyme disease, and it makes your eye twitch out like crazy. And like sometimes my eye will just twitch out like crazy. There was just one episode where I was like, "What is this?" You know, I don't remember what I said actually. I was probably like, "Am I dying? Am I fucking dying?" I'm gonna pick up this lighter. That's always my first thought. Like when I figured out what was that phantosmia, when I was like fucking smelling donuts, and I was like, I'm certain that I'm gonna die. I was like, this has got to be me dying. Probably better to think about dying more often, I think. Which, Jesus Christ, I've looked back at some of my episodes and I'm a little grim. Dude, I apologize. I don't mean to be, but like, especially with the beginning of this whole war thing, and even like every time something fucking escalates, or every time like, you know, there's some sort of advancement, it's like, I think we're silly not to look at it as if there's a possibility that it could expand and affect more countries than it is right now. I think we're silly to assume that it wouldn't or can't do that. And then I guess if you get caught up in the possibilities or the outcomes that maybe you didn't foresee or you are foreseeing, it can just, I don't know, affect your psyche. Right. And so like I, definitely don't ever mean to come across grim, though as I edit some of these videos, I'm like, geez, guy, can you lighten up a little bit? Like, can you relax just a hair? Which I don't mean to, I know that we're obviously in America and, again, hopefully they'll never invade, but it just, you can't see that. I mean, what, like, We've all like we were taught at length about like World War II and the consequences in normal public school even. I say in normal public school because I know in expulsion school my coverage was a little bit limited, unfortunately, but that's my own fault. But to think that the allegation that they've committed war crimes worse than World War II, if that's true. If it's not Ukrainian propaganda, and it is true, and all those body bags that they're showing, and all those fucking mass graves, and everything that they've depicted in a lot of journal, a lot of things. If that is true, fuck, where was I going? I forgot. That's terrible. I'm a piece of shit. Oh, it's just like that's a big fucking deal, man. I mean, you know what I mean? If we don't, I guess we're lucky that it doesn't happen here, and we're lucky that we have, they say the greatest army in the world, but it's just like, fuck, man. I guess you think about the possibility of like us having to get involved, or like where people even say like when Joe Biden fucks up when he talks and he says bad things, that could further our chances of having to get involved because he says the wrong thing, which I forget, but it was like basically I've complained about it before in different ways, but I think he said something like this man cannot remain in power or something like that. I mean, I don't need to. I could. I was going to telegraph. I can't, Yeah, Biden on Putin. This man cannot remain in power. Bloomberg. But, I'm not, can't just, yeah. And then here's NPR. Biden says Putin cannot remain in power. Yeah, so my point in saying that is even a lot of people have mentioned that even just the things that we're dealing with further our possibilities of having to be involved. So I hate to take it realistically because I understand that it's not necessarily at our footsteps, but I just think sometimes it's silly that we just take it for granted on a consistent basis. Oh my God, dude, I don't even think I ever made my last point. I don't even think I ever made my last point. I'm a terrible person. Fuck. I don't remember what my last point was. I had a new point I was going to make. The other day, I was again running for DoorDash. It seems like every one of my stories when I'm out in the world seems to be in this fucking scenario. And I guess I feel like I have to clarify because I was in a fucking fast food joint. And I could just say, I saw this guy. And then I don't have to clarify where the fuck I was at. Then you don't care. And then all these extra details I'm providing don't fucking matter. Because technically they're not what matters at the end of the day. But, dude, there was this guy that had no fucking legs. He had no legs, and I think he only had half of one of his arms. So I want to say he was probably in like some sort of combat or something like that. Like, who knows what happened, but it was clearly really fucking hardcore. And I really did my best not to stare while he was in the restaurant, and I know that sounds really stupid, but it was just like I guess I wanted to see more of the details of like what the fuck, because I could tell he was like so low, right? Like when I wasn't looking at him or wasn't paying attention to him, I was like, this presence of this man, which feels like a man because the way he's talking to people and stuff like that is really low to the ground, right? And it's like because he didn't have any fucking legs. And then when I saw him getting into his car and stuff outside, it was like he had no legs. I think he was missing half of one of his arms, and it's just like, oh my God, we are so goddamn lucky. Like even on this own podcast, I fucking complained about, having to work out and complained about fucking things that I needed to do. And it's just like crazy to think that like every day we have these wonderful working arms and legs, and there's literally people that can't even fucking walk into Taco Bell. They have to fucking move, shimmy on their hips and hand wherever the fuck they go. And we literally have people that won't even get up and won't even fucking exercise or do anything. And I have literally even complained about that I have this addiction to exercise. But I'll be right back. I'm back. And this time not to talk about tortillas. It's funny. I think I may have made my point, but I never really elaborated. But what the fuck's up with the Viking shows? I don't get it. I don't understand the fascination. I'm not sure. So there's this new show, whatever the fuck it is. It's got the guy from fucking the Jesus Christ. It's not even Willem Dafoe. It's Willem Dafoe, right? I think it's Willem Dafoe. I believe Willem Dafoe is in The Northman, which is a new movie which appears to be about Vikings. And it just makes me think, like, wasn't there like Vikings Valhalla? Wasn't there a show that was just called fucking Vikings? Wasn't the Game of Thrones about Vikings? And that's what I kind of got sidetracked on. I started talking about crazy shit. My experience with watching it, that's where I kind of got sidetracked. But the idea is, what is this? I don't get the idea. What is it? It's like this LARPing fascination with barbarism. Like, is it like we've not allowed any fucking non-beta cuck bitch behavior in our society, and so now watching some alpha barbaric behavior on screen is actually attractive in some way? Is that it? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why it makes me think of it. It's probably not the same way, but it makes me think of like Comic-Con. Like Comic-Con, if I go by myself, is fucking not cool. And I'm sorry, but probably me go by myself to Comic-Con, not cool. But like, there's this hot workout girl that I follow on Instagram. If I get with, like, you know, you like go with like somebody like her, right? And I only say that because she literally dressed up the other day in a Thor costume and went to Comic-Con. And I was thinking, like, fucking, I would never be seen at a place like that, but I'd go with a girl like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy choice, you know what I mean? It's like Catwoman may not be the best movie ever, but if there was a girl that was worthy of a costume as such and wanted to go, I think it changes the scenario just a little bit, right? I mean, tell me I'm wrong. How is that? It's not really the same. It's not really relatable at all, but it made me think of the same thing. So, yeah, just don't understand the Viking thing. Don't get it. Don't understand. But maybe I need to watch more of the shows. Maybe I need to get more into the because that's my guess. My guess is it's just very barbaric, right? Like, it's just, and I don't mean to, you know, there's so many shows, there's so much shit, there's so much fucking, for God's sakes, you know, it's like everything I talked about, I can't believe is like, you know, forgive me, it's like fucking Jesus, like it's multiple stories that are 4 days old, like the Biden on the Putin thing was like 2 weeks ago, so it's like, goodness sakes, like everything I've mentioned in this day and age of information that's coming at us so quickly is like completely out of the zeitgeist, so to speak. One thing that I was thinking, which is kind of always in the zeitgeist, so it'd be easier to stay. It'd be easier to say that it stays in the zeitgeist, but it's basically. There was a bit, I believe, by George Carlin a long time ago. I can't pull it up, obviously, or maybe you can. I'm not sure. Somebody may have posted it. But I believe the idea was, he was like, they just want to keep you distracted so they can keep running to the bank. And then there was like this Family Guy episode a long time ago where like it was really stupid, the idea is, but he was like, need a distraction, you know? And so like the politician is looking through a book and he needs to distract the people so they don't think about the fact that he just bought this. It was basically like a solid gold Diggum frog. I can't believe I remember all that from a show that I haven't watched in years. But the idea is, one thing that is a little more current and seems to consistently be current through all of our lifetimes, regardless of how old you are, is, aren't we all, and I was more recently reminded of this by Russell Brand and his consistent clips that he puts out about everything, but it really seems like one thing that is more consistent and is going to remain consistent. You're like, fucking got to it, dude! The fact that we all just happen to be so consistently distracted. So the more they keep us distracted, the more they can just continue making shitloads of money. And again, you know, it's like we send this $2.4 billion in, you know, money total since Biden has taken office to Ukraine. And a lot of our lawmakers have money and stocks in defense. And it's just like, you know, all those $100 million in anti-javelin. I know I've said it before, but somebody made that. The labor got paid by somebody. The the material got paid by somebody. Somebody bought all that. Somebody had paid to have it put together. And a lot of times, isn't it like our tax dollars? Isn't it like our tax dollars that pays for these things? So just interesting that we are consistently distracted in such a what did they call it, bipartisan, I think, or the idea just so polarizing, I think it's also called. Just the idea being that we're so separated. We're so in a point where we've drawn a line in the sand, and my people are on this side of the line, and your people are on that side of the line, and it just seems crazy. I know even in my own family, we've had instances where, like family members have, been said to have stormed out. I wasn't there, but like, for instance, I've mentioned that, heard that like, people with political opinions have gotten heated in certain instances, and I don't want to out anybody because I didn't particularly witness it, and so I shouldn't act like I have. And they're like, and you shouldn't just air the fucking dirty laundry of your family to the rest of the world without fucking having all the details, or just in general. But yeah, I'm bad about that. No, actually, my family's worse about that. Like, my sister, if she's listening, would agree, hopefully, that she's way worse. And my grandpa's such a gossiper. He loves to gossip. He'll say whatever he hears, he's going to tell whoever he talks to next. You just have to know that. But it does seem like we're just so separated constantly on everything. And then they just continue to make sometimes millions, but certainly hundreds of thousands of dollars. And maybe we're missing something. I mean, I know I'm constantly missing something. I mean, I've talked about it before, but I'm constantly just missing this present moment. I'm constantly just missing time, like even with like my own son, when I'm on my phone, or just thinking about worrying about bills, or worrying about work, or worrying about life. I'm consistently not even here. I can't remember why I'm saying that now, but that's one thing I worry about. Just being more present, just being more here. But yeah, I think we should just worry about spending more time with our families, and whether or not those people have different political views than you, and whether or not you guys agree on every political issue. I think it's worth maybe, it's weird how some of the largest, like, you think about, like, say, the last election, and the way that, like, they were trying to make, what was it, Unity 2020 or whatever it was, and then they got fucking shut down. Literally, like, their page got shut down, and they were unable to continue, and they were just trying to propose a reliable candidate that say even people from both sides could appreciate. And it just seems like even the few opportunities that we have to do that, to be shut down, is crazy, when there are so many people, and we do have what we think is freedom, what feels like freedom. So interesting that we all are choosing, you would say, to be so bipartisan, and be so polarized, and be so separated, and be so against the other party and against each other, rather than realizing maybe what some of these lawmakers, and maybe what some of these folks that are leading us maybe doing that we need to pay closer attention to. Maybe doing that is negatively affecting all of us. Who knows? Some people. But I don't know. I guess I had no intention of talking about that, but that is one thing that it seems like, as everything I mention is fucking completely out of the zeitgeist probably by now. Only other stuff I was thinking about is, just in my own particular circle, trying to be, I don't know, again, just the fact that, like, sometimes you can, like, be right with your kid, right, and you're, like, on Instagram or something like that, and then you're not necessarily present, and then it's just like, I know I have those opportunities to be a better dad, and be more aware of what he's going through and what he's got going on, and just maybe ask more questions. And I say maybe because it's like, I don't necessarily know the answer, but I know the answer is being attentive and being there. And just, I guess that's one of the other things I'm just trying to focus on at this point. Not necessarily, God, I'm 6 million feet away from the mic. I'm about 6 million feet away from the mic, so now that's going to change it drastically. But that's okay. I apologize if you have to turn it down. I don't know why I was, like, really far away from the mic. Maybe I was ready to take a break. Maybe I was done. I know we're about to wrap up, so that's the only reason I'm saying that. And that's the only reason I'm saying, like, the only other things I had on my mind are, like, man, I just feel like some of the things I've been focusing on are just like, I know I gotta work. It's not just, it doesn't just come automatically. Like, I still get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed by stupid stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and then especially if it's, say, like, not something like I'm overwhelmed by my son, maybe I get overwhelmed because the goddamn garage door won't work properly, or, get overwhelmed by who knows? I fill up my car and I'm like, holy fuck, that's what 30. Like it's funny. I was just getting like half a tank and it was like $30, and I have a very small tank, so I was like surprised, like holy shit. It's like point being like I get upset by so many little things still. Sometimes I can get short with say my son or just people in general, and I wish I wasn't doing that. It's funny, I take this particular supplement that says something on the back like, he who controls others may be powerful, but he who controls himself is mightier still. And I fucking still haven't mastered that, man. Still haven't mastered myself, still haven't figured it out. I could meditate 2 times in a row and do yoga that day and still be a shithead pretty easily, unfortunately. And that's the only thing I was saying in defense of fucking Will Smith a couple weeks ago. And I mentioned 100 times, and I'd say it again, but I'm not saying what he did is right. But God, I when I feel like I've done so many steps to make myself grounded, I could still so easily be a shithead, unfortunately, and so easily in touch with my ego, and so easily just want to fucking feed that fire, and so would never justify what he did. But you can see where sometimes your ego just gets the best of you, unfortunately, and I'm still just working on that as a person. And so I hope. That's a loud ass truck. That's funny. I can hear that. You know what's funny? I was pausing because I was thinking, like, I'm really just babbling about my own thoughts, my own inner workings, and I wanted to try to make it some sort of lesson or something I could pass along. And I don't think I can box it up with a bow like that, unfortunately. But I do think that if there's anything you can gain from that, then hopefully there's anything you can gain from that. But otherwise, I'm just saying those are the only other things that are on my mind. And as I quiet down again, as you need to crank your volume once more, because now I'm fucking just quieting my own voice because I can't stay consistent, unfortunately. I was doing so good. I got through the whole drink and then I crinkled the bottle. Yeah, I got nothing else exciting. I saw that episode of JRE with Sad Guru, and he was talking about Devil's Tower, and I just thought it was cool because I live in Colorado, and Devil's Tower is just in Wyoming, and so that shouldn't be a far drive regardless of where it's at over there. And it sounded like a cool place. I've had some negative experiences in Wyoming, but other than that, it's one of those things where I'm like, man, that'd be a cool little trip. You could take like a road trip or something with your kid. Can't be too far. There's no way it could be too far. And then like all the hotels I've seen over there are barely fucking have any business unless it's like Cheyenne Frontier Days time. So anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I appreciate you guys listening, and especially when I just complain about my gigantic fucking mountain Aggro Crag from Global Guts growing out of my fucking head there. Just imagine how big that thing is going to be. Whether or not it's going to be a super soaker like when we were kids full of yellow pus that shoots all over my mirror, I'm not sure, and I should really probably fucking video it if it is, but it is just going to be a goddamn monster. And you guys can let me know if you think that Zelenskyy is our new baby mama, and if we're just going to keep paying him over and over and over again for everything, because that's kind of how it works once you find out you have a new baby mama. And maybe I'm out of line, and maybe I'm out of bounds, but you should comment, and if you leave a comment, I'll read it, or if you send an email, I'll read it. Maybe we'll even share it on the next podcast. And I do apologize about that. You can tell us if you think that what else did we talk about? Anything exciting? You're like, nope, dude, not anything exciting. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna try to. Yeah, I mentioned that place, unfortunately. Yeah, you can tell me if you think that the wheat from Russia that he's not going to share with the rest of the world, or the people that have been negative to Russia, if you think that's a bad thing. You can tell me if you are not paying attention to the Russia-Ukraine thing at all, and you're just over it, or if, you know what I mean? Because in the beginning, I think it's easy to get caught up in it, but then I think as life continues to go on, it's easier to focus on your bills and focus on your family and focus on your home and focus on your future and focus on things for you. And though that sounds selfish, I think we're all a little more insulated at this point than anybody in Europe, and especially anybody in the former Soviet Union, and of course those folks in Ukraine that are fighting the war. And I don't mean to be a downer about it. I can't just help but think about, like, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean, if we had to, but I've said that, now I'm just repeating myself, so I do apologize. I was just saying you guys should comment on the things I've mentioned, and then I was slowly trying to think about the things that I've mentioned. You can tell me if there's anything that I'm missing about this whole Viking fascination, because in my opinion, I just don't get it. It's just like this LARPing fucking wannabe aggro community that you'll take on in the form of entertainment, but in the real life, it's like, all these beta cuck bitch males that can't do anything or say anything or represent themselves or don't feel like they are able to, and you feel like you're a fucking freak just by expressing yourself in a way that's not, fucking aggressive or whatever all these crazy things are. But yeah, tell me if am I missing the whole fucking Viking thing? And have you been to Devil's Tower? Do you think Devil's Tower is a cool place? Have you ever been there? It looks cool in like the pictures. I mean, I get it's just like a big place, but basically he had said that it's like there's supposed to be something special there. Like people feel like there's some sort of some sort of power there, which I'm not trying to be crazy or fucking spiritual or whatever it is, but that's a cool thought. It's a cool thought that he said that. I think that one guy, what's it, Adam Greentree or whatever, he said that they said they feel that same way about that huge rock in Australia, right? So like there's that gigantic rock in the outback in Australia. It's like if you've ever seen a picture of Australia, that's the fucking picture that you saw, because that's the only reason I know what it is because I've seen it in any picture that anybody's ever showed me of Australia. But it's like the fucking rock that I think was important in the dream time or whatever it was. That shit was fucking cool to hear about. But just interesting how they like felt that these rocks had some sort of power, like maybe that this big rock in Australia during the dream time for the Aborigines or whatever it was, that they felt like, I'm probably totally wrong, so I'm sorry, I'm probably fucking butchering whoever it was, but that they had some sort of power that they got from the rock, and then also that the large rock in Australia that I don't remember what it's called, and then also that like people feel that way about Devil's Tower in Wyoming. I just think that's cool. It's just worth in the fact that it's like it can't be more than like an 8-hour fucking car trip away. Like wherever it is in Wyoming, I have no idea where it is, but it can't be further than that. And like most of Wyoming is accessible via I-80 because it's gonna go right through it. So anyway, it's just one of those things that like, Oh, and then also, let me know if you guys are fucking also focusing on like, trying to be a better dad or trying to be a better family member or trying to be more present. And just anything you guys have to share. I'd be interested to read an email, or I'd be interested to see your comments, and love to see you guys blast that multicolored phase change thumbs up and give us a like for the video, and love to see you subscribe. Appreciate that. It's funny, Russell Brand always introduces his videos based on the amount of subscribers that he has. He's like, welcome you 5.4 million, wonderful. And if I did that, I have like 1 subscriber, so it'd be like, welcome you one person. You know what I mean? It'd be so awkward because it's one fucking person. I wouldn't do it, and I can't do it as enthusiastically, and of course I wouldn't do it with an accent because I don't come from that area of the world. But no disrespect, he's amazing. I don't know how the fuck he does what he does. He's so much energy and so enthusiastic, and just only props to him. And of course, like I've mentioned, breaking points, and I'm done talking shit for the day, but I love that you guys tuned in, and I love that you're listening, and I can't wait to talk some more shit with you again next week, and I look forward to chatting with you then. And take care of yourselves, take care of your family, take care of whatever comes your way between now and then. And I love you. Bye-bye.